Hey MD, so here's a wild question that scientists have been seriously working on. What if we didn't need planets at all? What if we could build our own spinning worlds in space, complete with artificial gravity, breathable air, and maybe even forests? Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's closer to reality than you might think. The biggest challenge with living in space is gravity, or rather, the lack of it. Without gravity, your bones weaken, your muscles waste away, and your body fluids shift upward, causing all sorts of problems. But here's the clever solution. Instead of fighting physics, we use it. If you spin a giant cylinder fast enough, centrifugal force pushes everything outward to the walls. Walk on the inside of that cylinder and boom, you've got artificial gravity. Now MD, here's where it gets really interesting. In the 1970s, physicist Gerard O'Neill designed what's called an O'Neill cylinder. Picture this, a rotating tube about 5 miles wide and 20 miles long. That's big enough to hold entire cities, farmland, even lakes. The cylinder would rotate once every 2 minutes to create Earth-like gravity. You'd have 3 long strips of land alternating with 3 transparent windows to let in sunlight. It's like rolling up a countryside into a tube.
So what would daily life actually look like inside?
Imagine waking up in a house on the inner surface. You look up and instead of sky, you see the opposite side of the cylinder curving overhead, with cities and forests hanging upside down. Except they're not upside down to the people living there. The sun would rise and set as giant mirrors outside redirect sunlight through those transparent strips. You could literally go for a jog around the entire world in a few hours. Of course, building something like this isn't exactly easy. We're talking about launching millions of tons of material into space. The construction would probably need to happen at an asteroid, where you could mine the raw materials on site. Then there's radiation shielding. You'd need several meters of rock or water surrounding the habitat. And what about meteors? Even a small one could puncture the hull. These aren't impossible problems, but they're definitely engineering challenges on a massive scale.
So when could this actually happen?
Well, we're probably looking at decades, maybe even a century or more. We'd need to master space manufacturing, develop better propulsion systems, and honestly, the cost would be astronomical. Literally. But here's the thing. Every technology seems impossible until it isn't. 100 years ago, the idea of living permanently in Antarctica seemed crazy. Now we have research stations there year-round.
So MD, could humans really live in giant space stations instead of planets?
The physics says yes. The engineering is incredibly challenging but possible. And the timeline is, well, it's a long-term dream. But that's how all great achievements start, right? From wild questions to serious engineering. Who knows? Maybe your grandkids will be taking that jog around the cylinder someday. Thanks for exploring this with me.